Hi guys, how are you? Bear Talk again, and today there will be another book review. The Art of War by Sun Tzu, a book written 2,500 years ago and still influential in this modern world. So this book, The Art of War, it is, I believe that all Chinese heard of it and knows this book, but about 95% of of Chinese people haven't read this book because it is written in Asian language and really profound. But almost some of the quotes are so popular that we use it in our daily life. So the problem is why a book written 2,500 years ago still so popular and something we can still learn from it. It's not outdated. And the other problem is that what I've found from this book, like Sun Tzu is the greatest military master of all history, but he is the greatest pacifist. Why? Pacifist, he doesn't like war, and he also said if you can win a war without a battle, you are the winner. Why? So let me talk a little bit about the background. So Sun Tzu Bingfa, The Art of War. This book was written 2,500 years ago. About at the time, China was during the spring and autumn period, which is like a lot of kingdoms are fighting with each other, and the resources, in that time, resources limited, right? So it's definitely needs some strategy to use your resource to fight to gain the most reward, no matter from the country perspective or from the general perspective or from the soldiers perspective. So that's why Sun Tzu write The Art of War and use it to propose for other kings. And for me, like reading this book, like for Chinese, why this book is still popular is because it's not about just fighting. It's about strategy. It is about how to use limited resource to gain the most reward. So that's why it's still so popular, and that's why it's quite similar as the game theory, So yeah, and for me, I found that as a people who live in the modern age, I found at least a lot of things I can learn. But before that, some basic understanding about this book is that it was written in 13 chapters, and each of them talked about one concept, one aspect of military, such as warfield, information during wars, environment, like how to use fire to attack, to fight, and other things. Right. So as a people who live in the modern age, what I've learned from this book, the first is that decentralized. That was quite impressive, right? Because at that time, Sun Tzu wrote that 将在外，军命有所不受, which means when a general is in the battlefield on the spot, and the king's order is not a priority. So general has the duty or has his power to decide what's the most to make the decision. So which means like information or the environment is changing a lot. So as a leader, you should decentralize your mission to the soldiers or to the people who on the spot. to take the responsibility, but not centralized by a headquarter or a general manager to make all the decision. That's not right. So this is quite similar as the modern business world. And the other thing is that information is so important. So it is written in Chinese that 知己知彼，百战不殆, which means if you know yourself and if you know your enemy, you can win all kinds of battle you want. So which means information, or we can say data, is so important, right? And the other thing is that quite interesting. So if you want to fight a war, you have to find Tao, which was translated by the translator as the force. You all watch Star Wars, right? So you know what the force is. So it's like some kind of, alright, yeah, you already know that. So if you want to fight a war, you have to find Tao and find it on your side. If you like the opportunity, like the timing, all kind of things are Tao. Okay, if you want to fight a war, think about Tao before that, right? And the other part, the most interesting part of this book is that Sun Tzu, he is the greatest military master of all history, in China at least, but he is the greatest pacifist, which means he encourages us, don't fight. Right, this is quite against your common sense. How could a great military master suggest that people don't fight? Actually, he did, because he sees the war as a holistic point of view. It's not just win a battle, but it's about the campaign. It's about the holistic way. And he said, 上兵伐谋，次者伐交，中者伐兵，最次者伐臣. How to translate that? It's really hard. I'm trying, right? So it means the greatest general fight with strategy. Then the less great general fight with diplomacy, and then with military, and the least, and at the bottom, they fight with actual battle, with to win actual cities, to fight at cities. So if you can win a war without a fight by strategy, that's the best. If you can get your reward by strategy, that's the best. And if you cannot, probably by diplomacy and negotiation, and the least, then you can start a fight. So this is what we can also learn from this book. It's really profound and it's really wisdom. Right, so this book, The Art of War, is the book I'm recommended today, and hope you like it. If you like my book review, please subscribe my video channel, and all the best. I'm going to get to work, so see you guys in another episode. Bye.